Hello, I'm Dr. Earl Parcell, the proud superintendent for Copeland Independent School District, and I'd like to take about 3 minutes to provide you with some quick information about the Vatre that will be on the November 4th ballot. What is a voter-approved tax ratification election? It is simply when the voters of an entity decide to increase the tax rate. Public school district taxes are divided into two buckets. One is maintenance operations, the other is interest and sinking. Maintenance and operation are day-to-day costs, salaries, utilities, fuel, and 80% of these funds go towards salaries. Interest and sinking can only be paid for debt. It cannot be used for day-to-day operational costs. So for Copeland ISD, these funds would be spent to pay the debt on the new additional classrooms, the office and the gym at the elementary campus, as well as the brand new secondary campus. The Vatre is 3 additional pennies for maintenance and operations. On this slide right here, I want you to focus on 2 words, entitlement and enrichment. The M&O taxes are comprised of entitlement funds and enrichment funds. Entitlement funds are formula driven based on the number of kids and the types of programs those students need. The state will give Copeland a prescribed amount of money, and these funds are used for the basic educational programs. Enrichment, on the other hand, are additional funds that must be voter approved. They are high yield and they are never subject to recapture, but these funds are used to enhance the educational program. And if you look on the right, you can see a list of districts around Copeland, and we are the best district in this group of districts, but just surrounding districts. And you can see that we are far below the other districts in terms of the enrichment pennies that we collect. The golden pennies, which is what these 3 pennies are, would generate locally about $94,000. The state, and this is why it's called golden pennies, would in turn give the district $147,000 for a total of $241,000. None of these dollars will ever be subject to recapture. How does this tax increase impact the voters and the taxpayers in Copeland ISD? Well, you can see here, a $190,000 property would see a yearly increase of $15 or $1.25 a month. A $290,000 property would see a $45 a year increase or a $3.75 per month increase. And a $440,000 property would see a yearly increase of $90 or $7.50 a month. However, if your taxes are frozen, there is no impact. For a quick review, it's a 3-cent tax increase for M&O, which is day-to-day operational costs, would generate about $241,000. Golden penny revenue would never be subject to recapture. How are these funds going to be used? For the 25-26 school year, a one-time payment for staff, and these funds would also be used for initial and operational costs associated with Copeland Junior High and High School. Some of these are new uniforms for band and athletics, instruments, microscopes, and instructional materials for the high school, which we have never had, well, since 1946. 26-27, these funds would be used for salaries and supplies. And in 27-28, these funds would be used for day-to-day operational costs. The ballot language will read like this. It is a tax increase, increasing the property taxes by 3 cents, bringing in a total of $241,000. Early voting starts Monday, October 20th. And the election day is Tuesday, November 4th. I want to thank you for your 4 minutes. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please reach out.